Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a pick a group tarot reading. Technically it's actually a pick a card tarot reading. Yeah, I don't know why I had to be technical about my own reading, but anyway, oh my lord, welcome everybody, whether you're new, whether you're returning. It is so lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for supporting this channel and for supporting free tarot here on YouTube. Today's reading is Valentine's Day inspired. It wasn't, well, to be fair, I had planned on doing this reading for a while, but I had also planned on doing a bunch of other readings as well. So Valentine's Day just kind of crept up on me, if I'm honest. Like, it's not a day that I was keeping track of, so it just kind of rolled into my life, and we're here nearly. So I will try to, because it's the month of love, offer more readings that are tailored towards love, whether that be self-love, even friendship. I want to do another friendship reading soon. My goal was to do that live, but we'll see how we go with my energy at the moment. So I did want to, I know that that's annoying for some people. Some people are really just here for those other sorts of readings that aren't love specific, but love is a very broad general energy. It doesn't just have to be about romance. It doesn't just have to be about other people. In fact, the greatest love of all is inside yourself, as corny and cheesy as that is. And I'm a massive advocate and believer of that. So I'm going to be doing a lot of love readings this month. Today's love reading is getting love advice from your higher self. And I put love in little brackets because my goal is to just get you advice from your higher self. These readings turn into little like pep talks and beautiful moments to connect with who you are at your core, and for me to convey some really heartfelt, authentic, honest messages to you. But obviously, because it's a month of love, I'm also going to steer that advice towards love where possible. Now, there will be an extended reading. The extended readings have recently changed. I don't know if you caught onto it. You might have missed it, but I've recently started memberships again. They are operating from my website now, so I'm turning into a bit of a control freak, if I'm honest with you. I've decided when I quit Patreon that the only way that I would do memberships again is if I had more control over what information I could collect, what content I could deliver, and how all of that can be delivered to you. Patreon, from my point of view, there were a lot of things that just didn't make sense, and I wanted to kind of just take a break from all of that. It was quite stressful, and then come back on my own terms and do it in a way where it's accessible for many different people who are accessing content for different reasons. So the thing about the extended readings is you can still purchase your group's extended reading individually, but if you are someone who likes to purchase multiple groups, or you like to purchase multiple readings throughout the month, then a membership may be more financially, like a more of an economic option for you. I will have more information about the extended readings, their prices if for memberships, as well as the individual groups prices, in the description box below. So you're welcome to have a look when you're ready if you want to get more information. The extended readings for today's reading will be looking into what your higher self thinks about your person. That topic was covered by Iso Tarot, and she was amazing, as always. It was a beautiful, huge reading, as usual. Don't know how the heck that beautiful soul has that much energy, but I was just like, wow, that's an incredible topic, and I loved the idea of the layout. So I was like, what better time to address something like that than in a higher self reading in the month of love, February. So that's what we're going to do in the extended. What does your higher self think about your person? There are only 3 groups today, because I'll be honest with you, I want to get as much information for your groups as possible, and I struggle to physically have enough energy to do 4 groups sometimes. So We're going to stick to 3. I recommend that you take your time picking a group. Don't rush yourself. Pause the video if you need more time, or join me in the meditation portion of this reading as well. It's just a quick minute, might be helpful. We'll start with group 1 over here with the light amethyst. These cards are from the Gem Oracle deck by Bianca Luna. Beautiful deck. There's a few things that keen astrologists may find askew, or avid crystal collectors may find slightly, but I do love the interpretations that Bianca's chosen, and I just love working with this deck. So for group 1, we have light amethyst here. Light amethyst is connected, well, in this deck, to the third eye chakra. This yoga pose, we have the beautiful picture of the light amethyst. We've got Uranus and the number 7, as well as the air element in the background. So that's group 1. And then group 2 over here, y'all got the tiger's eye. So the tiger's eye in this deck is associated with the earth element. We have the third eye chakra again, Ajna. We also have this yoga pose, which is more of like a, actually I do know that one. I don't know the name of it, but it's very good for stretching and just sort of moving your, well, isn't that what yoga is? Moving your body. We also have Jupiter over here, and we have the number 10. So group 2 with the tiger's eye card. Over here, group 3, you have another earth card. We have fossilized wood. And if you have been on this channel for a while, you know how I feel about this card. It pops up every now and then, and I am mad about it. It's an interesting energy. So we have the earth energy here with fossilized wood. We have the heart chakra. We've got this yoga pose. We have Taurus, and we have the number 14 as well. So some interesting energies on these 3 cards. Take your time, pause the video now if you need more time, because I will be taking you into the groups after this clip. So if you need more time, pause the video. When you're ready, click on your links in the description box. Click on your timestamps, should I say, in the description box, and join me in your reading. So the first thing I want you to do with me is to take in 2 deep, mindful breaths. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to focus on clearing your mind. It's natural to have thoughts racing at this point. I want you to embrace each thought as it comes and let it slip as quickly as it came in. Focus on clearing and balancing out these thoughts so that they come and go without a desire to be attached to them. And now, with a rested mind, I want you to think of the first group that comes to your mind. It may be a number, it may be an object that I showed you. It could be a specific color. It could be a feeling that you felt when I showed you each of the groups today. When you are ready and when you feel confident, select your group and join me in your reading. Hi group 1, and welcome to your reading. If you chose this light amethyst card over here, then this is going to be your higher self reading. We are asking for love advice from your higher self today. And group 1, this light amethyst really kind of sets the tone for you. We've got some keywords coming out, so I'm going to start throwing some themes at you, okay? Write these down if you're journaling, because they will make a lot of sense in hindsight or just to you. A lot more sense to you is what I'm feeling. It's not necessarily going to make sense to me. Now, when it comes to your love life, I'm seeing individuality, freedom, expression, I'm seeing someone who works differently to those around them, someone who is changing their views on love, who is open to many different versions of love, is what I would say, or at least a different romantic partner to what they've had in the past. I'm looking at someone who is very contemplative about their future, someone who is trying to be open-minded and would be inclusive towards a lot of different types of people as partners. I'm looking at someone who spends a lot of time by themselves, someone who knows themselves fairly well and who is seeking more knowledge about themselves through their romantic partners. I'm looking at someone who is a loyal person who would make a very good friend, and someone who would probably prefer to have a friendship first as well. I can see with the number 7 that this person is touched by the divine and receives intuitive hints from their spiritual team quite regularly. This is probably somebody who is here on this earth to help others in a very personal way, whether that's them taking on a humanitarian or charity sort of role as a profession, or someone who prefers to kind of guide people and help people in a more intuitive way as well. So if these personality traits don't resonate as your own, they could be the energy of the person who you are going to mostly deal with in love next. But it feels like this is about you because we're connecting to your higher self. So I'm getting here that these are traits that need to be honored, group 1. These are traits that if they are your own, we need to hold on to them, because that's what's going to be your clear guidance towards finding a partner, is knowing these things about yourself. And it can be hard to be like this if those around you are conformists, or if they're very much fitting into what society expects them to do. This Uranus energy is very rebellious. It's free thinking. It doesn't fit into every box. It's not able to just sort of mold with the status quo. So it does feel like your group is one that is transformative, to say the least. And your love advice is to be just like that. Don't let your past reflect your future, in the sense of don't typecast or pigeonhole yourself and your experiences in love based on what you've already been through. Stay open-minded and stay accepting of what may come your way. Try not to cut yourself off from any one thing. I'm hearing don't knock it before you try it. And I'm also feeling like you're getting a lot of intuitive messages here with the 7 and the third eye chakra. Your team is very close to you, your spiritual team. So let's zoom in a little bit. Can we zoom in? I haven't zoomed in a while. There we go. And we're going to get some more cards out. Spirit, what does group 1's higher self want to offer them when it comes to advice about love? What advice in love does group 1's higher self have for them? We have focus by her. Can you focus on me? Baby, can you focus on me? Stuck on your phone and you're stuck in the zone. Where am I up to? You don't have a clue, baby. I just want you to get up. Self. This is that individuality energy. What does group 1's higher self want them to, I was about to say, focus on? We have 99 bottles by Pissed Idiots. I lie and I cheat and I overdrink. I tend to overeat. I'm just living for the weekend. I do what I do best. I'll show you how to lose. Self-loathing. Loathing in general. Very self-aware, this group. Is there anything else from this deck? We have Genesis, The New Road by Vanilla Gorilla. Oh, you got to keep an open mind. You know that everything's going to be all right. Pay attention to the signs. Hope you know that you control your mind. Well, okay, so what's our bottom deck energy? Hero. Wow, King of, oh, actually, no, sorry, this isn't King of Everything. This is Get Free by Major Lazer featuring Amber Lee. Heading downstream till the levee gives in, and my dreams are wearing thin. Look at me, I just can't believe what they've done to me. I just want to be free. Hero. So when it comes to your love situation or your love life, let's say your love life, because we're really, your higher self is really trying to focus on you in this reading. We're not trying to focus on anybody else. For whatever reason, your higher self is like, no, we need to focus on ourselves when it comes to our love life, because it's not about what can we heal. What are we doing wrong? Why aren't things going according to plan? What have I done wrong now? It's not at all about that. What I'm actually seeing is that we just need to be more aware of how our actions are literally creating our love life in front of us, because it kind of feels like you're being pushed towards a new direction in love, and it feels like you're really being encouraged to have an open mind, to keep an open mind here with this new road. But in order to do that, you've got to pay attention to the signs. And I think that a lot of this has to do with your reaction to new things or to new people or to whatever is happening in your love life. The main message that I'm getting with that card is that some of y'all may fall back into self-sabotaging tendencies where we accidentally do the exact opposite of what we want, because we're afraid that if we do go for what we want, it's going to fall apart in front of us, or it's not going to be what we expected, or it's just easier to fall back into self-sabotaging behavior instead of actually going that extra mile and doing what we want and stepping towards the outcome that we want. So that card is really talking about some of that behavior and knowing when to step forward and how to step forward as well. And honestly, this kind of stuff is very intuitive, but it's often plagued by fear. And the fear makes us think that, oh, well, I just did what I thought was right. But actually, we just acted off that primary feeling, which was fear. And underneath that primary feeling, if we just gave ourselves a nice big deep breath and a little moment to pause and breathe, maybe we would have realized, like, wow, this is actually something I really want. And you know what? I'm just going to go for it. So that card is really talking a lot about that idea of you control your reality, pay attention to the signs, and please keep an open mind. I really feel with Genesis coming out that there is a new beginning in love for your group, whether it's you reinventing your current situation with Uranus and transforming it with existing energy, or whether this is bringing new energy into your love life and transforming your life with that new energy. There is a new opportunity in love for your whole group, and it's really about holding yourself accountable in terms of, goodness, this is something I really want. How can I step towards it? What can I do? How do I make sure that I get what I want? I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm not going to self-sabotage. I want this. I'm going to have the courage to step towards it. Checking in with yourself too, because you don't want to feel like you are putting too much pressure on yourself and you mess it up. But if you need to take a moment to breathe, breathe. Now over here with focus, it kind of feels like this is about you, sweets. And this is about being more subjective, which is really what Aquarius and Uranus energy makes me think of. Sometimes we get carried away in what's happening around us or in the bigger picture, or in life. Life just seems to become a series of events that we need to deal with, or a list of daily tasks that we need to get through, when actually it is our subjective individual experience and we are the main characters. So this focus card over here is encouraging you to get back into main character energy, to focus more on your life as your movie, your video game, if you will, and you are the main character, you're the main player. So this is really about focusing again, being subjective, putting yourself back in your own shoes, trying not to get into that numbing behavior where you're just kind of dealing with task after task, list after list, because it is about being more accountable and taking action towards the things that you want instead of just sort of zoning out and disassociating. No tea, no shade. I have a massive issue with that myself, disassociating. But that's your biggest advice from that card, from your higher self, is like, get back in the game, get your head in the game, focus on what you want and act in the way that you want. Don't let your actions contradict what you want. I think that's all I'm seeing from that. It's about you. And over here we have another self, but this time we have self-loathing. And this energy really does tell me that you are very self-aware people. You've spent a lot of time with yourselves. You know yourselves inside and out. And most of you know yourselves and your faults or your shadow sides as well. And I use the faults thing as an example. It's quite a heavy word with heavy connotations. It's not supposed to imply that you're broken or that something about you is wrong. It's just to say that you know your shadows very well. You know the aspects of yourselves that you aren't exactly pretty, 100%. What's the best word without making this sound worse? Aren't 100% nice and neatly wrapped. And I think that knowing this about yourselves is very powerful. It puts you in a position to be a very authentic being and to make very authentic connections. That's the main thing with getting to know yourself better, is that you start to understand how you can spread that knowledge into your relationships and connect with like-minded people or spot inauthentic people. Once you start living your authentic self, it becomes very hard to be around inauthentic energies. So I think with this, it's kind of like that's your biggest asset, sweets, okay? Not so that you can continue to be very self-deprecating, because I really think that if you're having a hard time saying compliments to yourself, then this is steering towards a negative attribute. You can be self-aware and very aware of your shadows while also being able to compliment yourself and list off your greatest attributes. It should be balanced. If one side is heavier than the other, then you are going to attract that same energy. We can't be completely negative and we can't be completely positive either, because we're being blind to the other side. It's a fine line here. And this card is either indicating that some of y'all are stepping into the negative, pessimistic, self-deprecating ideas of yourself too heavy, or some of you need to appreciate that that side of you doesn't need to be fought all the time. It needs to be accepted, and it's guiding you towards your authentic partners, your authentic friendships, your authentic relationships. It's helping you attract authentic people. I think as advice, this self-loathing is saying that your story, your narrative is very different to those around you. You come across as like a revolutionist or a rebel. It's not conventional, is what I want to say. And I think that your partnerships reflect that too in some way. So your love advice is to embrace your differences and to understand that it may put you on a different path and you may not be ticking the boxes at conventional timeframes or in a conventional way, but it is getting you to the place that your most authentic being is going to be happy with. To put this into context, one message that I'm getting is that for some of you, your peers are already, engaged or married or have partners or have babies, and they're following a very conventional path in life where you are struggling in some way or not exactly following the same path. The truth is, this is something that is more authentic to who you are, and it's going to either lead you to a place where you're going to be glad that you didn't follow that same path, or it's going to really guide you towards a relationship where you're going to be very grateful that you didn't settle for anything less than, or that you didn't slow down and fit into the norm like everybody else was doing. Y'all aren't supposed to be like that. You're not cookie cutter, is what I feel, group one. Your bottom deck energy over here is just about saving yourself and being your own hero. You have massive main character energy, group one, and your love advice is to be this balance of masculinity and femininity, knowing when to take action, knowing how to love yourself, and also just staying connected to who you are at your core. I think with this heading downstream to the levy gives in, all my dreams are wearing thin, there's like more messages in tarot that I'm going to get next, but I do feel like you're on the precipice of a new cycle. And I think that if this is a reflection of where you're at now, like you're done, you're really struggling to continue on this path, then I think that you've got some really good news coming, because I don't see this lasting for long. I see that this is a very lonely journey in many ways. It means that you've probably spent a lot of time by yourself, or even though you may have a lot of friends, you struggle to connect with a lot of people in that very specific way. You feel at times like an alien is what it feels like. So let's put these cards up here and we'll get some tarot out now. Put your bottom deck energy over there, chill. Can you just cooperate, please? I'm not surprised because you're the rebels, so if the cards aren't cooperating, that's a fair testament to your energy, isn't it? What should we do? What should we do? Do we get tarot or do we use the cosmic celestial bodies? We'll get tarot because I'm wanting to work with this deck more. We have the true black tarot deck. So I want to work with it more. It's been in the box for a little while, and now that it's out, I'm just wanting to use it as much as possible. Group 1, please, Spirit. Can we please get some love advice from their higher self? What does Group 1's higher self want to say to them when it comes to love? What does their higher self want them to know? When it comes to love, we have the Queen of Swords. Is this Swords, Spirit? Yeah. Queen of Swords coming out in the reverse position. Very interesting. What does their higher self want them to know when it comes to love, Spirit? What advice or information? We have the Five of Wands coming out reverse. Oh, your higher self is your biggest fan. We also have the King of Pentacles in the reverse position. I love it. I wish I could have, well, no, I shouldn't say that out loud. It's your higher self. I can't claim your higher self, but you've got hype man energy up there, truly. You are quite a wise being. You've been here many times before. We have the Four of Swords coming out as well in the upright. Will I get one more card? Bottom deck energy. Thank you. We got a lot of air energy coming out for y'all. A little bit of fire and strong sort of Capricorn Virgo placements as well. Bottom deck energy, we have the Three of Pentacles. So what I'm seeing here is cooperation. If you have a partner, your higher self is saying you need to work with them more. You need to invest more time in your relationship with them, and you need to try to prioritize love because it is a part of your basic needs as a human being, because it forms part of your connection. But also from a spiritual level, love is the experience that we're here for, you know, like to experience love, to know love, to learn about love, and to spread love. So at the end of the day, with your bottom deck energy being this Three of Pentacles, you and love need to be working more closely together. It feels like your higher self is really praising you for your efforts that you've put into your close relationships, the platonic ones specifically. I'm seeing that you have a close group around you. Not huge, okay? Aquarius people are usually known as being very friendly, but I feel like your group is tight. Like you've got your solid, loyal, ride or die friends and family members for some of y'all. And that's perfect. That's exactly what you need to stay grounded and to keep you feeling that connection. Your higher self is reminding you that you are someone that really needs connection. You need to feel connected to your community. This seems to form part of your values. And I think that the people who matter a lot to you, if you don't see them regularly, or if you're not ticking that part of your values box, then you start to suffer and you start to feel in many ways more alienated and alone than necessary, to be honest, because you're already a very unique soul with a very individual journey. So there's no reason to cut off more of that and to feel more of that as well. Now, I really want to talk about this Queen of Swords reverse. This in the upright would be about that objective image, right? That bird's eye view energy. When it's reversed, your higher self is strongly encouraging you to be more present, to not dissociate, and to be more open and receptive, to not cut people off when it comes to your loving relationships, especially when it comes to receiving new love. For those who are single, please be more open. Please be more receptive. Please don't death stare people when they try to approach you. Please just be aware of the fact that you have this boss energy, and it's time to kind of let that ice melt and let more people in. It's time to start communicating your needs more and talking about yourself more for some of you, not being everybody else's therapist, but letting other people listen to what you've got going on. And if you have people in your life who just can't deal with that, then it's time to start putting boundaries in rather than being the ice queen and thawing over and dealing with it. Keep that ice off, stay warm and explain, like, I can't. If this is all you're going to talk about, then I'm sorry, I really need time for myself, or I need someone who's going to listen to me. I'm just seeing that for y'all, it's really about reception, like receiving people, and also communicating your feelings. Don't freeze over and don't dissociate. And over here with the 5 of Wands, it really feels like there's no competition when it comes to those around you. So you need to stop comparing your situation to other people, especially siblings or peers. Stop comparing yourself to other people, group 1. You are perfectly, wonderfully unique. And honestly, you are so lovingly appreciated by your higher self. You are exactly who you were meant to be. All your quirks, all your weird tendencies, all your bizarre interests, all those strange things that you enjoy doing, it's completely normal because that's who you were meant to be. It may not be exactly the same as those around you at this moment in time, but all of this dissonance and this clashing is to help protect you from things that aren't supposed to be a part of your life. You're not supposed to feel connected and attached to every person that you come into contact with. And you're a very high vibrational energy, not in the sense of you're always positive and optimistic, in the sense of you're very strong. You are someone who's lived many lifetimes, and you seem to be someone that has the potential to influence a lot of people. You attract a lot of energy towards you. And some people may be attracted towards you and then go, oh my God, what are you? You're so strange, you're so weird. But they can't stop staring at you. And this is going to be difficult, especially when you're younger, because it feels like this is the kind of energy that you have to develop a thick skin for. You have to kind of either be like, okay, and then just walk away, or be like, oh my God, that's not okay to say. Like, I'm sorry, but I am still a human. You can't say those things to me just because my fingers point to the sky and your fingers go like this. Sorry for the hand gestures, but it feels like nothing compares to you, Sinead O'Connor, sweets. Nothing compares to you. And you are absolutely cherished from above, like a cherub cherished. So I know that there may be times in life where it's really hard to vibe with the people around you, and it wasn't always supposed to be an alienating experience for you in this lifetime. You were supposed to have moments of connection and harmony and collaboration and a feeling of belonging. But I also feel like you are so far ahead that there are going to be many, many moments where you feel like you don't belong because your energy is much older than a lot of the energy around you. Now we also have the King of Pentacles over here in the reverse position, and that's your higher self saying that your ideas of love are not meant to be pigeonholed in any one specific thing moving forward. I see that you're the kind of people who may be married multiple times, or you may have many significant relationships in your life, and you're not meant to be bound or stuck or limited by these conventional commitments. You're supposed to be constantly evolving and constantly keeping an open mind of what may come next. It feels like relationships teach you a lot about yourself, and it feels like your partners learn a lot about themselves being with you. So you may feel at times like you're everybody's muse. People come to you to be inspired and then they leave when they have what they want. That's a terrible way of looking at this, but it is also a very impactful thing for yourself, because I feel like in these situations, those significant partners have a lot to teach you about yourself as well. And I think with the King of Pentacles reversed, we're looking at some pretty unconventional partnerships, or just you being very selective and careful about who you settle into serious, meaningful relationships with. I think that loyalty for you and commitment are two different things, in the sense of marriage, you know, maybe you can be loyal and committed and loving without having to be in a marriage, that kind of idea. It doesn't have to always follow a specific plan with the King of Pentacles reversed. Doesn't mean you're not loyal, doesn't mean you don't desire a life partner, but it doesn't always have to follow a specific plan. Now over here with the Four of Swords reversed, your higher self is really trying to commend you for being able to take time to heal. They're highlighting that healing is what helps you move forward and really attract that partner that is the right fit for you. When we don't do our healing, we attract the exact thing that we're trying to avoid. And that's where that self-loathing was also talking about. When we don't deal with that negativity because it's become so oppressive, then we start to attract oppressive energies our way as well. And we start to wonder, like, why are these people so not what I had written in my manifestation journal? Because the only energy we've been putting out to the universe is that we don't appreciate ourselves, and we are only focusing on everything bad about ourselves. So we're attracting that energy as well. And this is really something that you're mostly already aware of. And I'm not trying to say that you got to be positive all the time, but it is about balance, because being self-aware has its bonuses as well. You're going to attract a very authentic, straight up person who is going to present themselves authentically to you as well. Being honest and self-aware are always positive strengths to have. They're character strengths, okay? So I really think that your higher self is commending you for the healing that you've done and for the times that you've taken out for yourself to connect with yourself, to understand yourself better, and to know that life isn't always about action. Sometimes life is just about sitting still and catching up on what we've been through. We're not wasting time. Time is created in front of us. And I think that those present moments for you, Group 1, moving forward in love, are going to matter the most. We don't need to be miles ahead all the time. Sometimes we just need to be right here, right now, present in our main character energy and aware of what we have around us. That is your key moving forward. So, Group 1, that's what I'm seeing for you when it comes to love advice from your higher self. I hope this was a helpful reading for you. Can I just say it has been such a pleasure and honor to read for you, you old souls, you. I hope this reading resonated. There are 2 other groups if you feel you have messages in those groups, or if you think this one didn't resonate 100%. You're very different to the other 2, so you may have messages in the other groups if this reading didn't resonate. It's been a pleasure to read for you. If you would like to join me in the extended reading, we will be looking at what your higher self thinks of the person that you have on your mind. The extended reading is available already. You can click the link in the description box. I recommend you have a look at the members, the Hermit members plans as well. It may be more cost efficient for you depending on what your situation is. It's free to cancel as well. Like, you're not locked in or anything. Money is so fickle in this day and age, so I want you to feel like you have that flexibility. So do check it out if it's something, if extended readings are something that you're usually interested in. And I shall connect with you very, very soon, Group 1. Bye. Hi, Group 2, and welcome to your reading. My nose is doing something weird. Oh, I think we can work through it. You know when it's like itchy, but it's not really doing anything. I don't really know what's going on. Am I going to sneeze? Anyway, sorry. I did not mean to enter your reading with such dramatic energy. I took a little bit of time off to chill, and instead these energies be following me. So listen, we are going to get into this, and I promise this is all going to be about you, Group 2. So starting with the Tiger's Eye, you're here because we're asking your higher self for some love advice. We're asking for advice in general, but because it's the month of love, we're going to be steering it towards love. Now, if you pick the Tiger's Eye, Group 2, I can tell straight off the cuff that your love life is supposed to be getting into something pretty serious quite soon. I'm looking at expansion here with Jupiter. New experiences, higher learning for a lot of you, higher experiences in love. And with the number 10, this is looking like a culmination of some sorts, a significant moment. So Really, with tiger's eye here, this is often a crystal that I use when I want to attract shmoney. It is considered as a prosperity crystal. So it kind of feels like marriage for a lot of you. It feels like taking something to the next level for a lot of you. If you chose tiger's eye, I feel like your higher self is really encouraging you to be open to expansion and long-term growth when it comes to your love life. With this earth energy here, I see a lot of grounding. I see a lot of physical experiences in love coming up for you, a lot of milestones in love, you know, those things that we like to tick the boxes of, being able to experience those milestones with your partner. And for some of you, this is also about children. It's not just about romantic love. It's about creating a legacy with love in this lifetime. And what other ways can you do that except through, you know, physically creating your own child as well? For some of you, I see that your love for your career may also lead to legacies. And listen, I'm laughing, but I genuinely mean that. Creation comes in many forms, and sometimes we're not all here to create more of us. Sometimes we're here to leave our marks in other ways as well. It's not just about making babies. So I feel like love for you is leading to some long-term things, some serious developments. And for a lot of you, this is looking like marriage, or this is looking like that next big milestone for you in love, achieving that. So let's get that card down and we'll pull out some more messages from your higher self, some more oracle cards for group 2 from their higher self, please, Spirit. I want to rattle off some themes to you too while I shuffle this deck. The main theme that I'm picking up with this tiger's eye, and you can pull out a journal if you want. This will help you hopefully make sense of the words better than I will, but those cards always inspire me with themes. I like to use them when I'm setting the tone for a reading, trying to set main themes. So for you, these are the themes / keywords from your higher self: prosperity, growth, expansion, legacy, creation, culmination, celebration, ascension for a lot of you, union, travel, new experiences, growing, deep roots run deep. Okay, so solid foundations, new heights as well though. I feel with this tiger's eye, prosperity and abundance is your biggest theme here in love. Commitment, union keeps coming up, union, loyalty, growth, obviously, that came up before. What else, Spirit? Yeah, we keep hearing abundance, 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 abundance. It's not bad, but it's like, we heard that. What else have you got? Is there anything else? No. Okay, let's get some more messages from your higher self. Group 2, what other messages of advice does Group 2's higher self have for them when it comes to love? Yeah, we've got this crown chakra energy here. I know, Sahasrara, collective, wisdom, source. Why did I say it like that? All of a sudden I'm from New York. Source, guidance, and we have infinity as well as the that's like the meditative chant. Group 2, what advice does their higher self have for them when it comes to love? What advice? Oh, this card doesn't come out very often, I'll tell you that much. We got Cola by Aloe Parks. Leave me to my own devices. It's better when your Coca-Cola eyes are out of my face. So take your orchids elsewhere. I love you to death, but now I don't really care. Disgust. Can we get some more messages? Because that energy is hitting me left field. What does their higher self want to say to them? We have Good Life by Zoo. This is the sage energy. Life is all about you and not at all about you. How can you experience everything you choose to do while observing the experience you're having from a higher view? Wisdom. Your bottom deck energy here, is self. Wow, this card came out for another group as well. So we have self, which is focus, the song Focus by Her. Notice how when I said focus, the camera focused. Okay, so me, can you focus on me? Baby, can you focus on me? Stuck on your phone and you're stuck in your zone. You don't have a clue. Baby, I just want you to get up, focus on me. So Her is a wonderful artist. Honestly, oh, this card kept kind of coming up sneakily too. I Love You So by the Walters. So, let me get my Amazonite, because I need to channel this energy clearly. Group 2, your higher self has been trying to send you messages about what you need to be doing about your current love situation. Because whatever you're doing at the moment isn't working for your highest good, is the best way that I could say it. I'm so sorry. But with Cola coming out, Cola, listen, Cola is a lovely song. Cola is like Arlo Parks's vocals to the nines. But in terms of an energy and a love reading from your higher self is like trying to slap you on the back of the head and go, sweet pea, listen to me, please. It's time to listen. You have a lot of crown chakra colors and energy over here, and then you have this third eye chakra energy over here, and the only card that doesn't follow that higher energy is the self card, which is all about action and accountability. So your main themes from your higher self's version of advice is self, accountability, wisdom, and it seems to be about taking action on what you already know you need to do when it comes to love. It feels like your love life is being pushed to the next level, and maybe there is something that you need to do in order to get it there. I feel like this isn't even about planning, sweets. This is literally about knowing when to take action for yourself and really just doing it. I do want to start with Cola here. Cola, the advice with Cola, it feels like your higher self is trying to say, like, listen, I love you to death, but you really need to start listening. You really need to understand that what is happening in front of you is you're in your hands in many ways. They're trying to kind of throw you a bone here in some way with Jupiter, an opportunity. Like, they're giving you little hints and they're showing you like, okay, well, let's give them that and see how they respond. And you're just like, oh, 2-for-1 deal. Nah, I won't buy anything today. And they're like, why didn't they take that? Like, that was a good deal. They wanted socks anyway. They should have just taken the 2-for-1. In the context of a relationship, it feels like some of you are on the right track, but in order to truly claim what is yours, we need to be more active in taking what is yours, in showing that you are grateful that you have that in your life, and stepping towards that, claiming that, whether it's a person or a commitment with a person or a future for yourself when it comes to love. It's kind of like you need to kind of claim it. That's what's missing here. Your biggest advice seems to be to claim it, because I see your higher self trying to like intervene, but also the first line in this card says, leave me to my own devices. So it's kind of like your higher self is like, ultimately it's up to you. Like, you choose your reality, your actions. We're just here to guide you and help you and hope that you actually listen. But if you don't follow what we have to say, like, there's not too much we can do. And it feels like your higher self isn't alone here. I feel like I'm channeling like your whole spiritual team, sweets. Your whole spiritual team is like, what are we doing? Come on. You have everything that you want in front of you. Are you going to take it? I see for some of you the need to kind of walk away from one chapter of your life and step towards something evolving, something different. And that is kind of where there is frustration being met from your spiritual side, because you're showing up as someone who at least your higher self thinks is wise enough, smart enough to be able to make the right decisions. And yet these oracle cards are kind of like, why are you stuck? Like, actually, why are you stuck? You shouldn't be. You have all the tools you need. You have all the information you need. we're working on the right things, like we're headed in the right direction. You've got this beautiful thing going for you right now. Please just make sure that you stick to the plan, or you stick to the message, the signs. You listen to the signs that we've given you. There seems to be some frustration on that side, to say the least. I love you to death, and now I don't really care. It's very interesting. Group 2, I feel like your higher self is really trying to work closely with you, help you through your current situation, get through it, especially if you're at a 10. A 10 for me is a culmination. It can sometimes mean you're at your wit's end. But with Jupiter being there, Tiger's Eye is very lucky energy. The main words are prosperity and abundance for you, and I stand by that. And yet we've got these little sort of bratty energies over here with Cola by Arlo Parks. Your higher self with I know, the crown chakra, is saying like, I'm never going to leave you. I'll always be here to guide you. I'll always be here to help. You're always got other energies you can call upon too. With the crown chakra being here, you've probably got ancestors, or you've just got a very close connection to spirit, to source, and you receive messages quite directly. You don't need to go through somebody else. You receive downloads directly. You're very connected to that collective wisdom. And I think that you yourself may operate within the ability to give others guidance based on the downloads of information you receive. But when it comes to love, it's about staying in that power of I know. Not I need to know, or I still don't know, or I'm stuck and I'm confused. You do know. There is a strong part of your vessel that is very connected to this almost instinctual side. It's inexplainable sometimes. We just do things and it works out. Oh my gosh, how did I know that? You just knew. And I think with the crown chakra here, your advice is to stay connected in that way. Try to keep that channel open, protect it, cleanse it. Make sure you're not just an open vessel for other energies to invade. Work with crystals, work with cleansing forms of, like smoke for me is a good thing to work with, because I like to visualize that energy being cleansed and cleared in terms of negative and heavy energies. But sometimes you can just go and take a nice long shower or a bath or a swim, and that water running over your skin is a way of cleansing yourself from heavy energy. Other people work with crystals to protect themselves, but I think with this I know, your higher self is encouraging you to keep your channel open. And when it comes to love, really come from that place of connection, in terms of like, I know what is best for me. I know what to do for me. I don't think like you have any reason to doubt yourselves, group 2, when it comes to love. But for some reason, I'm seeing stuck. So you're very close to achieving something wonderful for yourself. That's what I want to say. So just keep moving forward, really. With this Good Life by Zoo, I feel like your higher self's love advice here is to take your experiences from your past and reflect on them in ways of like gaining wisdom. You've come a long way is what I'm picking up on. This lifetime for you is all about your experiences. You are going to have not so great times, but you're also going to have a love that truly is worth living and dying by. I feel like you're going to have one very significant partner in this lifetime, and they are going to be worth it, group 2. You're going to be so grateful that you went through everything you did before them in order to get to them. Everything that happened before them was transformative and helpful in bringing you the wisdom and the experience needed to have a successful relationship with that person. And I really think that if you're in an energy of feeling stuck, it is about stepping back and observing your experience from a higher view, looking at things objectively in a sense, so that you can look at, wow, okay, like actually when I think about it now with my emotions kind of subdued a little bit, I can appreciate how I had to go through that experience in order to understand that type of person better, or that kind of situation better, in order to process those hurtful wounds better and to understand parts of myself better. I think this love of your life is really going to put everything into perspective for you if they're not in your life already. And they're really just going to help you appreciate the fact that everything you've been through has been for this. So if you've got that love of your life in your life, I feel like your higher self is like, come on, make it official. Let's go. Let's keep expanding. Let's keep growing with this person. Let's keep them. We've got a good thing going for us. It feels like your higher self is almost like encouraging you to like tie the knot with someone that you have in your life group too. And if you're very single, then everything that you're experiencing currently and previously is leading to this person and the way that the two of you continue to grow. I feel like you are this person who is going to have like a family type of thing, like you're creating something with your partner. And I think your higher self is really encouraging you to continue moving forward, because that is very much a part of your reason of being on this earth. You're supposed to create something with this person, whether it's a child, children, business, something. It's a very tangible thing that you leave behind, a very physical thing that you leave behind. In terms of like in this lifetime. I don't mean to get too sad talking about leaving things behind, but that's what I mean here. Now over here with focus as your bottom deck energy, I feel like your higher self is really trying to get your head back in the game, get your head back in the zone. Don't lose sight of why you hustle, of why you work so hard, of what your reason behind overcoming all your sadness and all your difficult experiences is. It's not because you just like pain, it's because of the people that you love, and the reasons that you do these things are the reasons you need to really hold on to and focus on right now. I think that your higher self has got a lot of messages to kind of convey with love, but they really just want you to continue moving forward to get through this ending so that we can really expand and start to have more room for new experiences in love. I'm seeing, I just want you to get up. Let's get some tarot out, shall we? Because your higher self's energy in these oracle cards isn't cohesive. It's very difficult for me to read because it feels like each card is talking about like a different issue. And then we have recurring issues, but still it's not exactly cohesive. So let's see what tarot has to say. I'm going to push these cards up here for no, just to get them out of the way. Group 2, please, Spirit. What information or advice does Group 2's higher self have for them? What information or advice does Group 2? So we have the 9 of Wands. Wow. Don't give up. What information does Group 2's higher self have for them when it comes to their love life? Information or guidance does Group 2's higher self have for them when it comes to their love life? We have the 8 of Pentacles. Okay, yeah, we've got all of this indication of hard work, mastery, don't give up, perseverance. Group 2. We also have the Queen of Wands. Yeah, the Queen of Wands coming out in the reverse position. What advice or information does Group 2's higher self have for them, Spirit? Chariot. I don't think the Chariot is supposed to be reversed, so we're just going to shuffle it back in. If it's meant to come out again, it will. What does Group 2's higher self have for them in terms of advice or information about their love life, Spirit? We have the 6 of Wands. That's what you were supposed to have. And you can still have this. Victory, success, recognition, pride. We also have the 6 of Cups in the reverse position. Okay. What is our bottom deck energy for Group 2, please? We have the Two of Cups in the reverse. So it feels that some of you are in separation, or you just haven't met your life partner yet. I want to say that you're going to have a very significant relationship in your life with someone who is literally your other half, sweets. I know that is an expression that not a lot of people in the spiritual community like to use. We like to look at ourselves as individuals complete without other people, and that's fine. But I feel like this person is literally like a counterpart. They have these qualities that just complements you and brings you into this state of feeling more complete. And that's probably the best way that I can describe it without being too controversial. You know, I'm a massive preacher of self-love and fill your own cup. But I am seeing that your group is destined to have this almost like kindred spirit who is very similar to you and different enough to be able to counterpart you, if that makes sense. It's beautiful. Now, your higher self, when it comes to love, is trying to tell you, please don't give up. Please keep moving forward. Don't give up. Keep moving forward. All of the hard work that you've invested into your love life is going to pay off. A lot of you are on the right track to being in the ultimate union with your future partner if you aren't already. If you have someone in your life, you've got a winner, sweets. You really do. I see with the Nine of Wands here, you're putting a lot of energy into this, and I think that while you're on the right path, there may be a better way to do this moving forward. The main energy I was picking up on was perseverance. Don't give up. But I also think that we kind of need to really push to get through this with that Nine of Wands. For whatever reason, you really need to believe in the trust in the process and believe in the outcome. Is what it feels like. Trust in the process and believe in the outcome. The Queen of Wands reversed kind of tells me that there's a lack of confidence here. There's almost like I don't know, like a defeatist mentality. It's not even surrendering. It's literally like defeatist. Like, oh, well, like it was good while it started. It's like, but we haven't even really tried. So with that card in the reverse, the main goal for you right now should be working on your confidence and your stamina when it comes to your love life, because I think that with the confidence thing, there is this feeling of like getting your head back in the game and focusing on why all of this is so impactful for you, where this journey is headed towards, rather than the here, right now, especially if you're going through it. I also feel like there are physical insecurities here when it comes to intimacy, physical insecurities over your body or over your appearance that you may struggle with. And the thing about these insecurities is that they're not received by your partner. Like, your partner is here because they can love, accept, and appreciate you regardless of how your vessel changes and ages naturally in this lifetime. It feels like the energy you have with this person is very like electrifying, strong chemistry. And I think that these issues are within self. The lack of confidence comes from within us. And to a certain degree, we all struggle with confidence. We all struggle with image, self-image, and identity. So I do think that this is something that we can all understand to a certain degree, but I think it's being highlighted in your case because it is holding back aspects of you experiencing the ultimate union that you are destined for. Your partner isn't going to care if you have stretch marks, or if your hair is a bit shorter, or if you have hormonal issues that cause your skin to look a certain way, or your hair to fall out early, or whatever the heck it is. Maybe it's a weight thing, or maybe it's a skin thing. I really feel like it's more of a you thing, sweets. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but I really feel like your partner isn't going to care about that more than they care about being with you, all of you, knowing you, loving you wholly, being able to say that they love this about you without you grimacing and going, ew, how could you love that? It's like a painful thing in a way when someone loves you so much and then you can't see it, and it's kind of like like it's a weird feeling of like disgust. It's a weird feeling of like, oh, Like, goodness, like, I'm just trying to say that I love you. Why can't you just take that love? So it's this minor thing that maybe needs constant work, whether it's just confidence in general in moving forward, or whether it has more to do with how you see yourself. I see with the Six of Wands here, you are going to be successful in love. In fact, there's recognition over here. There's celebration. I feel like many of you are steering towards some sort of like marriage situation where you get the opportunity to share love with others and show others what kind of love can be. And I feel like it's a wedding because it feels like there's a reception here of people seeing you and cheering you on and celebrating you. So it feels like a big moment where a lot of people feel quite proud of you and happy for you, and it's genuine joy. And it's the kind of event where when you witness it, you can't help but feel overwhelmed with emotion, you know, like I'm crying thinking about it. It's like when you see that, it's hard not to feel inspired and impressed, you know? When you see someone get married, it's hard not to feel happy for them. Like, goodness, good on you. You have to be very jaded to sit there and go, how could you? You know, like there's always that one person that might make a joke, but to be genuinely upset at somebody being married is like, oh, come on now. Who hurt you? So whatever's happening next in love for you is something that raises the energy of your community, your family, your friends. It's something that makes people very proud of you, and your higher self is proud of you for not giving up and for pushing forward and for working so hard to get what you want. And they want you to know that you are destined to have a love like this in this lifetime. With the Six of Cups reversed, many of you may already know this person. Could be someone from your childhood or just someone who you feel connected to already. The Six of Cups reversed is talking about healing your past hurt in order to be more accepting and receiving towards the future. It also feels like childhood issues may constantly play factors, be like negative factors in your I don't want to say negative, let's just say emotional experiences from your childhood may be impacting the way that you look at love right now. And if it is negative, if it is heavy, if it does feel traumatic, then these are things that we need to be more aware of, we need to work through, we need to understand. We can't 100% heal these experiences. They happen to us in a way that we may have to experience them or live with them for the rest of our lives, but that doesn't mean the pain has to be constantly fresh. We can work through that and heal through that in a way where we are still able to move forward and embrace new experiences, especially positive ones. So I feel with the Six of Cups reverse, something about your past is resurfacing in a helpful way in order for you to be more open and receptive towards what is coming in your future. Group 2, I think that's all I have for you, sweets. I hope this message was helpful for you. You are my group who literally felt like I was just sifting through some milky water, you know, trying to find the pieces. It didn't fit a cohesive line for me, so I really hope that this reading resonated for you. If you feel like you have missing pieces like I do, then you may have messages in other groups. So far, all of the groups are proving to be very different. So, and we only have 3 groups as well. So it is very, very important to make sure that you're using your discernment. Maybe that's why it's very important for you to have a journal as well, to take notes of what is resonating, and so that you can dismiss what isn't resonating. Remember to take what resonates and do not let the rest take from you, especially in these general readings. Speaking of taking, I am going to take this into the extended. So for the extended reading, we're going to have a look at what your higher self thinks of the person that you have in mind. It should be very telling. I'm excited to get over there. The reading is available and ready when you are. The link will be in the description box. I highly recommend that you consider the membership option if you are someone who likes to be on board with a lot of extended readings throughout the month. It may be a good choice for you. Otherwise, it's just a helpful and handy option to have there for flexibility purposes. Thank you so much for joining me, Group 2, and I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Celebrate love in any way you can. I'll be sending so much love your way, and I hope to connect with you very, very soon. Bye! Hi Group 3 and welcome to your reading. If you chose this fossilized wood card, then this is going to be your Pekka group reading today. We're asking Spirit for love advice from your higher self today. This fossilized wood card is really, to me personally, y'all, it stands out from the rest. If you watched a lot of my readings, you may know that this card is actually one of my favorite cards in this deck. It serves a very specific purpose for me when it comes out. The main interpretation that I see this as is patience and resilience, as well as good things come to those who wait, or your hard work is paying off. It's kind of, for me, when it comes to love, it represents something that withstood the test of time and you're being rewarded because of it. So I really feel with this card that this is the group who are being encouraged to stay true to the path that they're on and to stand firm in what you know is true to you. There's a lot of love in this card. There's a lot of compassion for your situation in this card. And there is also a feeling of standing firm in what you deserve, not necessarily buckling because something is easy, not necessarily giving up because that's what everybody else is doing, but standing firm in what you know you deserve. So let's talk about what we see on this card first, and then I'll throw some themes out to y'all. So fossilized wood, as I explained in the Pekka group, is represented by this earthy energy in the background. We also in this deck have it associated with the heart chakra, Taurus, the number 14, and this yogi pose over here. So this whole card just represents patience for me. I do want to throw some themes out to you guys. If you have a journal with you, I recommend you write some of these down if they resonate, and just sort of reflect on them, because there will be messages in these words from your higher self as well. And if you feel like these words are recurring, it's a sign that you're on the right path when it comes to love as well. So the main thing here is the main words associated with this card for your group would be self-love, patience. I want to say themes, not words, because I'm also hearing withstanding the test of time, staying true, compassion, loyalty, care, understanding, partnership, devotion for a lot of you, value, self-worth, understanding, seeing eye to eye. I'm also feeling grounding and stability and acceptance as well as coming through. I heard immunity, but I don't know about that word. We'll see what comes through in tarot. That may be a very specific word for some of y'all. With the heart chakra here, that sometimes symbolizes healing and your respiratory system and healing in general, like your immune system. So that could be what was happening, but we'll see. That probably won't apply to all of you. So let's get some more messages out for you from your higher self, Spirit. Group 3. What love advice does Group 3's higher self have for them? We're going to use my Musical Messages Oracle deck because it is very in-depth in terms of the types of interpretations. So I just wanted to show you all many different ways I use this deck. It doesn't just have to be about love or musical channeled messages. You can use this deck to get all kinds of messages. So Group 3, please, Spirit. Can we get some messages of advice or information from their higher self when it comes to love? Oh. Oopsie daisy. This is a bit annoying to shuffle today for some reason. Oh, we have Annoyance, Dead to Me by Kali Uchis. See, I am not your enemy, but if there's one thing that I know, it's that you ain't a friend to me. So don't come for me unless I send for you. Know you are dead to me. Interesting. Interesting energy to start off with. We're going to pull these down here for now while we talk about that. Let's get at least 3 more cards. 2 more cards, please, Spirit. Ay, Dios mío. Well, we got 2, didn't we? We've got Purple Afternoon, I don't know how to say that artist's name, but I do love this song. Don't know who I am, you go down so smooth, I can't seem to get away from you. And now I'm leaning on you, purple afternoon, when I'm thinking of you. This is a song that was inspired, or this card was inspired by the feeling/emotion of submission. Wowzers, that Taurus energy when you fall in love. We also have Cast Away by Yuna featuring Tyler the Creator. I didn't know I got a call before. Honestly, you didn't see the best in me. It feels like you were mocking me. And now I've gone off so far away, a castaway. This is inspired by the pensive energy/emotion. And back of the deck, we have, oh, I love this song. This is like, this song was written by like a bunch of young lads, but it has such a nostalgic energy to it. It just sends me back to a time I didn't even know I lived in. I think I like when it rains, call up some friends and have some fun. Oh Lord, I wish things were the same nowadays, and all that I can do is stop and think about the days. I think I like when it rains by Willis, inspired by the emotion of boredom. So this is the group that seems to be in something steady, constant, potentially a little bit too steady, like it's been going a bit too slow for too long. The energy that I'm getting for y'all is harmony, peace, and balance now. With all of these cards, these are very soft energies. I don't know if they're depicted like that on camera, but all of the cards in front of me are pastel, and they're very soft. So they're not a strong emotion. They're kind of your more passive emotions, the things that just kind of come and pass and come and pass. They don't really sit heavy with us. They don't manifest too strongly, but they do have the tendency to linger and to have more of a subtle influence in our actions and thoughts. And every now and then they come back a little bit stronger, but nothing to the point of anger or joy, you know, that really overcoming feeling. All of these feelings are a lot more subtle. Submission, annoyance, pensive, boredom, and they all have the tendency to build over time and to turn into a lot more than what they are. I feel with submission over here, your group, your higher self is saying that your situation definitely requires a level of acceptance, surrendering potentially, or just acceptance in where you are and what you're doing. I feel like you're in a cozy part of life when it comes to love sweets. You may not have everything that you've wanted, and it may not be super exciting right now, but I feel like it's been a lot worse in your past, and it could be a lot worse. So I'm not to kind of pull that card on you and make you feel guilty in any way, but I do think that your higher self is encouraging you to just submit yourself to where you're at now and to enjoy the moments for what they are now, however boring or lackluster they seem compared to the more exciting moments. It feels like that kind of energy that you work hard to get into, you know, like that idea of, oh, I'm just going to hustle and throw myself into this current situation of chaos to get to that beautiful moment where I can just chill, be content, not have to overexert myself, overprove myself, over question everything, you know, and just enjoy life. It feels like you're in a moment of content. And if that doesn't necessarily make sense, then that is what your higher self is saying that you're up for next. Getting into a position where you can be at peace, content, feel balanced, have stability, and feel as though love is all around you. Although it may not be exciting and overtly passionate, it's incredibly wholesome and supportive, and kind of like a feeling of like being at home, you know. There's that comfort, there's that warmth, there's that security. It's not as exciting as being at Disney World, you know, but at the same time we can't be at Disney World forever. So it's a beautiful energy, if I'm honest, and I think your higher self is just really saying to you, like, we've got you, like you're coming to this. This is what you've worked hard for a lot of you. Moments just like this, it's almost like you need to pinch yourself and remind yourself of the fact that this is everything that you've ever wanted. With annoyance here, It feels like it has taken a lot to get you here, and your advice is to protect what you have. That's what I'm really getting. Taurus energy with the heart chakra. It's not necessarily an aggressive energy, but with annoyance here, you are being called to stand up for what you have and to protect what you have. And at the very least, to stand up for yourself. Because that card is saying that there are people who are envious of your situation, however minor that envy may be. It may not be outright jealousy, but it is a feeling of like other people kind of rubbing you the wrong way for what you have. And I want to say with this annoyance here, group 3, your higher self is just kind of encouraging you to protect the strong foundation of love that you have within yourself from those around you. I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes the best thing you can do when you reach a state of inner peace and inner harmony and inner balance is to maintain that and not try to teach others how to do that, but to live by example. Because when you risk bringing somebody else into your energy who is not balanced and at peace with themselves, you also risk losing your own peace by working on theirs. And that happens so often. It's that idea of the oxygen mask, you know, put your own mask on first before you help others. And in this case, it feels like when it comes to love and sharing love and compassion with those who you already have love for, I'm talking about family, friends mostly is what's being referenced here. The best thing that you can do is lead by example. I feel like with fossilized wood here, you have a support system around you that is going to be with you for a while, sweets. Fossilized wood talks about something that is constant, something that has not changed for the worse. If anything, it's changed for the better. It's turned from this decaying piece of wood into this beautiful, like gem-like substance, you know, where we can polish it and really keep it for much longer than we expected to be able to. Fossilization kind of helps us to hold on to things for longer than we expected to. So I feel like the ones who are around you are the ones who are meant to be here for a while. I just think that your higher self is questioning boundaries and just reminding you to make sure your own oxygen mask is fitted firmly before you share it with others. Now, if you're a single Taurus, excuse me, where Taurus come from, sorry, you don't have to be a Taurus. That could be a sign though. I don't believe in coincidences. But if you're a single group 3, then I do feel like this energy that you have is actually very perfect in the sense of attracting a partner. And I think that pushing your abilities or the ways that you care for yourself is what is going to help you meet someone. This isn't about getting stagnant, although that's what it kind of feels like your energy would be if you're a single group 3 person. I think you're really being encouraged to find new ways to really fill your own cup when it comes to love by going out and doing the things that you want, going out and treating yourself in the way that you want and being receptive as you do these things, because you're in a very wonderful position of honestly glowing from the inside out, group 3, and this is going to get you noticed. If you're single, I feel like it's not going to be that way for very long, although you've probably been getting this message for a while. That's why Spirit has been encouraging you to continue to go out and do the things that you want to do for yourself, treating yourself. Not only is that increasing your chances of physically meeting someone, but it's also fulfilling your needs for the here and now until you do meet someone. So it is a win-win, sweets. Even if you don't meet the love of your life on that trip to the salon or on that trip to that ice cream store that you really, really love, even if you don't meet the love of your life there, you are still getting your needs met. You're still having a wonderful time out, eating your favorite ice cream, getting your hair done, getting your nails done, looking after yourself, pampering yourself, loving yourself, and looking good while you do it. And it is really a win-win situation. So that's what I'm seeing for all of the single group 3 people. You're really just being encouraged to continue doing what you're doing and to get a little bit more out of your comfort zone as you do it. Consider other ways of taking care of yourself as well, not just necessarily the beauty side, but from the inside out, your eating, how you take care of your body with the heart chakra here. Greens, I'm seeing greens, greens, greens. And this could be about getting out into nature once it's appropriate for you to do so. In the Northern Hemisphere, it might still be very, very cold. But I'm just seeing you in a lot of green with this fossilized wood and this submission, just having those moments of admiring nature, of connecting with the more natural side of you, sweets. And I feel like this is going to fulfill other needs and get you out of maybe a little bit of a stagnant comfort zone, and also put you in the position to meet more people. Because for those who are in a relationship, Taurus, you're missing friends. That's what I'm feeling, is that we've got friends here, we've got friend here, and I feel like we need more connection in general for group 3. You're a beautiful soul. You look after yourself well. You have a lot to show other people and teach other people through your actions and through what you've learned for yourself. And I think that all of this balancing out and this stability is really to kind of bring more close, meaningful connections your way. Not every Tim, Jack, and Harry. We only want the people who are going to actually be great company for us and who also take care of themselves in a certain way. I feel like your main reason to pushing your comfort zone a little bit is because I think the next person who enters your life, either for friendship, if you're in a relationship, or for love, is going to be someone who's a bit more adventurous and who challenges you to get out of your comfort zone and takes you on exciting little trips and has different interests and hobbies to you and introduces you to those interests and hobbies and shows you how to live life a little bit differently. I feel like you're a very grounded person that can really complement personalities like this. As long as they're not volatile, this adventurous personality kind of is also needing the balance and stability that you have in their life. So I do get that kind of fire and earth energy of being able to ground one person and inspire the other person. So it's like a balanced, a synergy. And it feels like, so keep an eye out for fire signs if you're an earth sign. Keep an eye out for earth signs if you're a fire sign. If you are an air sign, you want to look out for water signs, because they will give you more of the, I'm saying this, but I'm not really like picking up on that. But that's the energy that I want to say. Most of you are going to be attracting a very exciting energy towards you. So yeah, I don't want to continue with that air and water analogy, because I feel like that's a good comparison, but it's not really fitting the energy of your reading. So just focus on that earth and fire example, even if you're not an earth or fire sign. It's just the idea of you being grounded and maybe a little bit stagnant, and then meeting someone who is adventurous and maybe a little bit too passionate, in the sense of they need to be realistic and a bit more grounded sometimes. So over here with this pensive energy for your group, your higher self is saying, like, there is a reason for all of this. And I think that maybe recently you've been kind of reflective a little bit more, or just sort of maybe in a bit of a funk. When I think of pensive, I think of, you're just at the lights and it's a red light, and maybe that thought kind of crosses your mind, and it's not the most optimistic thought, and it's a thought that questions, like, is it going to get any better than this? Is there really a reason why I had to do this? Is there a good reason as to why I had to do this? And I feel like your higher self is again encouraging you to keep going and saying that these thoughts are healthy and helpful. Don't ignore them, and don't try to say, oh, I can't think like that. Write them down, think about it, journal it, get those thoughts and feelings out. Understand that these recurring thoughts are trying to help you and guide you as well. However pessimistic or funky they may be, they are a part of us understanding ourselves and our journey better. So I get the vibe with pensive here that there could be some helpful reflection needed right now to better understand where you've come from and how much you've achieved for yourself on this journey of connection that you're on. And I think that by doing that, you'll understand more about what you have to offer people and where you're kind of headed, because looking at where you've come from will kind of set a trajectory for you, and you'll realize that you started from a point where you were this small and you didn't have a lot of self-worth, and maybe it's because an incident in particular really bruised you and damaged you and made you feel very little about yourselves. And as you move forward, you're going to see a little bump in the road where you handled it and you taught yourself and proved to yourself that you are more capable and more valuable than you thought you were. And you're going to slowly notice through the experiences that you've been going through that your trajectory is broadening and heading towards a very specific outcome, which for many of you is leading to new connections. I feel like you've lost some people recently, some friendships especially, or maybe just some close people in your circle who are not able to cater towards your more emotional needs, towards your feelings of connection. And I think that that has been in preparation for meeting new people and having new energies enter your life without them being overtly significant or obsessive. Because sometimes when we meet people after trauma or after very sudden changes, we latch onto them and we form those insecure attachments and we obsess over them, and they become the focal point of our universe. Whereas for your group 3, I feel like you've been focusing on yourself. You are the focal point of your universe. So anything else that comes towards you is just a supplement and someone who can look after themselves and operate within their own gravitational energy. You know, they don't need to be attached to you and you don't need to be attached to them. So it's a very healthy, secure way of forming new relationships. And I think that you'll realize that if you do a little bit of reflection and really look at how far you've come and who you've had to lose in order to get to where you are today. And lastly, with this boredom card here, it feels like your higher self is encouraging you to actually stay connected to people who you still love, but haven't had a lot of time for lately. This card is saying that you don't have to always lose everyone. You know, like if someone is not meant to be in your life, it's going to be very obvious. There's going to be hurt involved. There's going to be a large significant number of issues that have forced the two of you to separate. But if it's a case of you just lost communication or you just forgot to call them and then before you know it 2 months have passed, then maybe it's time to actually get back in contact. You don't have to lose the ones you still love if there is still a chance to connect to them. And this boredom energy is also kind of like a double-edged sword. Although I don't think you have to worry about this edge. I think this is either something that some of y'all do worry about. You're worried about kind of out of boredom, reattaching yourselves to people who are harmful for you. But I don't see that necessarily happening for you, group 3. I see that in many instances you're being encouraged to maintain healthy relationships, friendships, and people who can give you this feeling of connection. I feel like this card is saying it's also natural and healthy to miss people. You don't have to pretend like you are strong enough to deal with life by yourself. You're a human being. You may be a spirit having a human experience, but you are a human being as well. And human beings crave connection. It's okay to miss people. It's okay to want someone around you. With this card here, if you can, reach out to someone who you love, even if it's been a couple of months since you've spoken to them or a couple of years for some of y'all. I recommend doing it if you have a way and creating that sense of connection again, because I feel like with this boredom card here, you don't necessarily have anything to lose, you know, but you have a lot to gain. So let us move these cards up here and we'll get some tarot to close your reading. For group 3, please, Spirit, what love advice does their higher self have for them? Group 3, oops, I'm going to be using my favorite deck of the week because I don't use it enough, unfortunately. Oh, we have the 6 of Wands coming out. Success is guaranteed for you, group 3. I see recognition. I see new energies, people seeing you in a public way. Maybe you need to be more active on in your public spaces or going out more, really pushing your boundaries. Obviously, there's still a pandemic, so be healthy, be safe. But I see you being seen in public places. And I see a community of people around you. So putting yourself out there more and really engaging with your audience as well is what I'm feeling. Like, don't just let people stare at you. Actually let them connect with you in some way, if that makes sense. If that's what you're wanting, is more connection. Spirit, what advice or information can Group 3's higher self offer them when it comes to love? We have the Queen of Wands for you as well. So there's a lot of fire energy in this part of your reading. The Wands makes me think of, well, Queen of Wands makes me think of Leo, but this could be Aries or Sag as well, Sagittarius. What advice or information does Group 3's higher self have for them when it comes to love? Oh, we have the King of Cups now coming out in the upright position. Beautiful. There's that fire and water energy. Remember, I tried to use water and air before? Gooishness. Group 3, we have the 10 of Cups. I knew it. You're destined for success. You're supposed to be happy. Your higher self is really proud of you. Your family is really proud of you. I feel like if doesn't resonate as your physical family, you've got like a strong support of ancestors who may not be obviously with you now in the physical sense, but they are very proud of you. 3 of Cups is your bottom deck energy. Your love advice is to create more harmony around you, more connection. There is like a reunion here with the 3 of Cups, or a party, a reason to get people together to have fun and to celebrate, an excuse to really like have some fun and get a bit social. Your bottom deck energy is like, if you're invited to a social event, or if there's a birthday coming up, use it as an opportunity to get some harmony and to meet up with people and to have some joy, some fun. Nothing too serious, but just that beautiful energy of this card. Call up some friends and have some fun. That's what that card was saying, and the 3 of Cups is your bottom deck energy. Your higher self wants you to really focus on friendship right now, even if you're single, because working on friendship is what will lead to that serious commitment that y'all are looking out for as well. And this will also help you understand the people that you're bringing into your life better by working on that friendship first and knowing who they are at their core in terms of their values and their personality. Now, for all of you, your success is guaranteed when it comes to love. You're supposed to be someone who is treasured. When it comes to your relationships, people value you. They see you as someone that is worth having in their lives, whether that's as friends or as a lover. You are someone who is supposed to be adored and kind of looked up to in a way. You have this energy of trailblazing, so I firmly believe that your way of making a difference in this lifetime is to pay a lot of attention to yourself in a healthy way, giving yourself opportunities to love and to grow so that you inspire others to do the same, because people are noticing you and they're following you and what you do. You are destined for success in a public sense here with the 6 of Wands. And I feel like with the Queen of Wands, they are encouraging you to get out there and to do things that are a bit different to what you would usually do. Your higher self is saying, like, please, like, pay more attention to how you present yourself as well. Not from necessarily what's the word? Where you're very focused on your appearance, a vain point of view, but in a sense of like your appearance is portraying your personality at times. So have fun with it, especially if you're in an environment where you are needing to uphold yourself or present yourself, or you're in an environment where you have to kind of meet new people. Your appearance is a wonderful way for people to understand you better and for people to get to know your personality. So have fun with it, play with it. Maybe make some changes to your wardrobe or to your hair, or do that salon appointment that I was talking about. Take pride in your appearance, because you only have one vessel in this lifetime, and looking after yourself physically and presenting yourself in a way of I'm proud of who I am is also going to help you attract this certain type of person that stands firm in who they are. It's not like being vain, but I think that people get a better read of who you are. If you're artistic, for example, they're going to look at you and go, wow, like, I really love your clothes. Where did you get that jacket from? Or who does your hair? Or where did you get that necklace from? I love your rings. I love your shoes. I love your stockings. Whatever it is, you're going to get noticed because of your appearance, and this has to do with you making those connections as well. The King of Cups is encouraging you to be more open with your personality, your feelings, and the kind, caring person that you are. Like I said, you're an asset. Whether you're a friend or a lover, you're an asset. So share that side of you to people. Let them know that you are someone worth treasuring. And I feel like you're really good at giving advice too. You come across as that energy who can give advice without feeling like it's unsolicited. You know, like you're wise with the King of Cups here. This King of Cups is encouraging you to form connections from an emotional standpoint, not just because we want them to be fickle, right? Not just because we need more excitement in our lives. That's not who you are. And that King of Cups is encouraging you to embrace this new part, to have those deep and meaningful conversations, to approach your close connections with your loved ones as like it's time to really work on our emotional connection more than anything. I think this King of Cups is encouraging you to open up more, because you come across as a very grounded person, a very secure person, but sometimes that can translate as being closed off. And it may not apply to all of you, but if that resonates, then you're being called to be more open and communicative about your feelings and your heavy feelings too, sweets. I feel like advice goes both ways for y'all. You may be in a position to give, but make sure you're not stitched up as being everybody's therapist and nobody's sort of, patient. Like, it goes both ways. Let people know what's going on for you as well. Now, over here with the Ten of Cups, I see family. I see like a massive like reunion or celebration, or just a joyful moment to kind of celebrate love. Now, the Ten of Cups might make me think of like a wedding almost. Like, that's how wonderful it is, or an event where you're surrounded by loved ones. Use that moment, use that opportunity as a chance to realize how supported you are, how much love you truly have, and how far you've come. Because I feel like you're the group where, when it comes to love, you spent a lot of time working on it from the inside out. So this Ten of Cups is your kind of promise that everything that you've been doing for yourself is leading towards the successful, loving future that you want. And this has to do with having a secure family unit around you, whether that's blood family or a group of people who you've known and loved and supported for so long. They are your family. That's what it feels like. Your future is looking very bright when it comes to love. You're surrounded by people who will love and adore you and cherish you as well. And I think it all starts with you just kind of reminding yourself you're on the right path. You've been doing this for some time. The only things you really need to work on is being proud of yourself and presenting yourself in a proud way to those around you, pushing yourself out of comfort zones when it comes to your interests and the ways that you take care of yourself, and doing the things that you really want to do. Continue doing that, because it will lead you towards new connections, friendships, and lovers for those who are single. And know that you being emotionally open will strengthen your relationships, especially with your romantic partner, but also with your friends and your family. Your loved ones need to know what's going on for you. You can both offer each other wisdom and strengthen your relationships through these deep and meaningful conversations. You are destined to have a moment very soon where you will feel cherished, you will feel loved, you'll be surrounded by your loved ones. It's an opportunity for you to stay more connected with people, so make it more of a regular thing and stay connected. Call up some friends and have some fun. It doesn't always have to be deep and meaningful. You should be making more time for connection in your life in general. role. You deserve to be seen and recognized, so please remind yourself that you've worked hard to be the person that you are today. And this person deserves to show themselves off. You're destined to be in somewhat of a public space where people look up to you, they notice you, they recognize you, and they want to be proud of you. They want to see what you've done and what you've achieved for yourself. It inspires them. It's a twofold situation, so don't be all humble. Put yourself out there and let them get inspiration as well to help themselves. Group 3, that's what I'm seeing for you. You are so precious. It has been an absolute pleasure to read for you, Group 3. I am going to take this into the extended now. So in our extended reading, we're going to ask Spirit what your higher self thinks of the person in mind. This is intended to be more of a romantic reading. We're going to see what your higher self has to say about this romantic interest, and possibly, I want to get channeled messages as well. So if you're interested in that topic, the link is in the description box. If you are a Hermit, you will already have access to the reading. You just need to log into your membership on my website and access which group you want to view. Thank you so much, Group 3. And I also just want to take a quick second to thank our spiritual teams, angels, ancestors, and guides for helping me channel this message. You may have messages in other groups, especially if this reading didn't 100% resonate. It is a general reading though, so take what resonates and do not let the rest take from you. I will connect with you in another video, sweets. Take care of yourself and bye for now.